All right. Welcome. And brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. 42 hours, 8% to go. Can we make the other 8%? Lo and behold. All right, let's do this shit. We have got 4 pages left. We're going to have a lot of fun. This is chapter 2 of our AracKnight graphic novel series. We're looking to make 4 chapters at 24 pages each. Hence, a 96-page graphic novel with a shitload of variant covers, maybe some sketches and other bullshit. Enough to make an epic movie, an anime, or perhaps turn the tide of the MCU. We've had Spider-Man foiling plots like Dr. O and the Sinister Six. We've got Uncle Ben on the ear like his Alfred. We've got booby traps. We've got the chameleon revealing his origin to Spider-Man. We've done a lot here with these 20 pages. And when we catch up, if you read into the other classes, we are now at where Peter has been working with Now Magazine so that he's on the inside and he sees the chameleon, of course, disguised as him, Spider-Man, trying to sabotage the launch of the Mars colony, a la his employer. Now, of course, Peter, as Spider-Man is going to catch up to him, they're going to fight. At one point, Chameleon's going to let off a little EMP and shoot off the power for a little bit, and as he's about to sabotage the mission, and Spider-Man catches up to him, backup power goes on. Spider-Man and Ben, of course, wakes him up in his ear. Spider-Man beats the shit out of the chameleon, traps him in a web, and just as he's about to take his fucking head off, there's a bunch of guards arming against Spider-Man, but of course, the launch goes off. The launch sequence goes off, and now everyone's got to clear out. In these last 4 pages, we have to have this last showdown between Spider-Man and the chameleon, and I'm not sure if the chameleon's going to get away. I feel like we're going to kill him right here, and Chameleon might let loose on what the hell's going on here. We're developing our backstory here that shows that Dr. O's hatred of Empire City and perhaps Mayor Osborn is that he is going to be the architect. We're going to introduce him as the man who helped build Empire City, him and his circle of thieves there. They were the architects. And we'll reveal that Mayor Osborn tried to have them killed. We can even say that maybe Dr. O can't come to the surface because maybe he can't breathe the fucking oxygen or something. Something where we have a reason for him to have this underground lair a la Dr. No. Plus, Dr. O had the underground lair. It makes you wonder who came first. So, let us get caught up here. So we're developing a nice backstory for Dr. O. Perhaps this is the swan song for the chameleon. In Chapter 1, we brought in Kraven and we killed him off. We brought in the enforcers as throwaway thugs. We threw the looter in for a one scene for you nostalgia fans. And now, after a good introduction and a connection to our Spider-Man's origin, I feel we're going to kill the chameleon here. Or we might not. We have to see how it dictates. As usual, our goal of every class is to write 2 pages, 6 panels each, around that level. So we mine each comic book for our 6 panels of action and dialogue. Sometimes we go over. Sometimes we don't even need it. But we mine the comic books and we go in order. We climb through the annals of the Spider-Man lore to help write our own tribute and put our own stamp on this wonderful character that has endured for so many years. And again, this is a guide. You can write it your own way. You can write your own characters. This is just how we write. For those of you with writing block or just want to write a fucking good old-fashioned Spider-Man story. And as usual, what we do is we take it from the panels and we get our art team to start drawing it. So as we sell the novels, we'll have the line art in the following novels. Then we'll color it. Then we'll letter it. Then we'll cover it. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you will be here at the genesis of how to make a Spider-Man comic book and pray to God that the copyright people don't shoot us and kill us. Maybe they even pick it up and say, you know what, this fucking story's good. Let's fucking make it. Come on, man, can't have any fucking dreams. I got into comic books because I wanted to write Spider-Man. You get to a point in your life where you just got to make things happen for yourself and use whatever resources and finances and skills you have to make it as close as possible with your own stamp that people know it's yours so that they can never rip it off without you getting the credit you deserve. Peter taunts, he taunts The Chameleon at the top of the cockpit. We have a nice perspective shot where we see them fighting on the glass with the Fantastic Four kind of looking up, wondering what the fuck is going on because they just want to take off into space. So as we leave off, Uncle Ben has woken him up. We give the nice classic line, "You're worse than a room full of alarm clocks. Thought I lost you, kid. They're reporting the power went out. Looks like the backup generator's kicked in. Now I got a fly to catch. Well, hurry up, kid. They're about to start the launch sequence." "Well, here we are, Dimitri. I don't suppose you'd like to share the location of that pesky bomb. Or shall I simply snap the other two limbs? Play your spine like a piano." So many options. Where's the bomb? There is no bomb, you fool. Do you think I would get it through security? Then what are you after? What was the point of this? Freeze! The guards. So that was where we left off our last class. Today we do pages 21 and 22, and they'll have one more class to go, 23 and 24, where we get to sit through the agonizing editing process to make sure the PDF format looks cool. And that is it, kids. That's how it works. Alright, so we've laid out page 21, or we started to. Several armed guards surround Spider-Man at the web. As Spider-Man points down to explain, we see the Chameleon has morphed and changed his face to resemble the scientist he previously mimicked. The guards attempt to shoot at Spider-Man, but suddenly, the launch sequence begins. The guards start clearing out. Alright, let's do this. So we're on page 21. Let us mine a comic book. Our goal is to get this battle scene. We've got page 21, 22, 23, 24. So our goal here is to finish this showdown between Chameleon and Spider-Man. Maybe give the Chameleon an interesting death, where Spider-Man leaves him here to get blown away by the fucking rockets. And then, that's it really. I think we end this chapter with Chameleon getting fucking roasted. So we got 4 pages to do it. We don't want filler, we want to make it look cool, but at the same time, we don't want to fucking cut anything short if it's interesting to our story. Alright, kids, so our goal here, 21, 22, 23, 24. Let's close this fucking chapter out right with a nice fucking final confrontation, a reveal, and then a death. Yay. Alright. Ugh, that fucking add-on squirty shit. That's too much cherry. Alright. Amazing Spider-Man 51. We introduced the Kingpin last issue. And now the Kingpin, the godfather of New York City. What we need to figure out is if they went through all this elaborate scam to have this whole ransom and bomb threat and sabotage threat. What was it for? What did Dr. O need? Aside from causing chaos. He wanted to assess the security measures, the security response of the city, but also he wanted to place his little nanobots everywhere without suspicion. So that's what I was thinking when I was in the pool swimming this morning. I'm like, what's Dr. O's agenda? What does he want? What is he doing? So let's get there. That'll be revealed in chapter 3. All right. In the clutches of the Kingpin. At last, with Spider-Man gone, the city is mine. I always like when they play with little models of the city. He's playing with his model toys. The gangsters are here. They're ripe to take over. He stopped being Spider-Man. The problem is, J. Jonah Jameson's talking shit. Now, what's going to happen, of course, is now that the Chameleon was pretending to be Spider-Man and Spider-Man came in and saved the day and all that other bullshit, or attempted to save the day, he, of course, will have to take the fall. He will be branded a fugitive, and, of course, Jameson will be all over this, talking about how he was right, he loves being right. That will be the aftermath of this. Even though Spider-Man's attempt was to save the day, he kind of just stumbled in on an elaborate, chaotic prank of Dr. O that, of course, had an ulterior motive, and maybe even the Chameleon was a patsy. You want me to get some of the boys together, Kingpin? Not yet. Perhaps there's a better way. First, we'll give Jameson a chance. We'll make him an offer he can't refuse. Then the Bugle, what if he refuses? Then the Bugle gets himself a new publisher. All right, boys, scram! I like that shit. Kingpin's taking over. Great art, too. Look at the scowl. You see it. It's Tony Soprano, man. It's fucking awesome. And God forbid he would have lived if you'd have made a really badass modern-day story. You probably maybe even gotten James Gandolfini to play the Kingpin. It all depends if all the other roles dried up for him. I always thought I'd never want to come back and play another gangster, but I can't find work. Fortunately, he's gone, leaving Tony Soprano as more of like an immortal role that no one could ever play again. Spider-Man, of course, comes in, fucks people up, takes a karate shot to the fucking back, punches that guy in the fucking back, punches everybody in the side. The gangsters all run off. You know what I remember now that we're coming back to these comic books again and doing our homework? Is one of the really fun things they did with the art here was the Kingpin's hideout had like a rotator. So he hit this rotation and it would change offices, it would rotate through the building. It was so cool. Now, you love when they create cool shit within the architecture of the city, which is something we have to incorporate into our story, not just as a tribute, but as to up the ante of creativity. Spider-Man's fighting the gangsters, punching gangsters, grabbing gangsters, climbing up walls, stalking, finishing, taking lots of pictures. I'll slide the drapes back and observe our captive through our hidden one-way mirror. So Frederick Foswell thought I would let him take over operation simply because he had once been the big man before he supposedly went straight. Yes, little thing. Get our guest in here. I know how hard it is to keep them all in line. You'd be a fool to pass up any help you can get. And there is one thing we both know. The Kingpin is not a fool. If we're going to work together, what are the terms? I like that. I do my fighting with my brains. Flint, give me a light. Who do you think you're talking to, little man? You heard the man, Flint. Give him a light. So Foswell is a tough guy, talking shit to the Kingpin. This is when they really get into the fun of Spider-Man just battling fucking gangsters. He's a big, and they show you they think he's just some fat guy, but in actuality, he is a muscle man, and he fucks people up. Ned Leeds getting married. Find me a photographer to replace that punk kid Peter Parker. Peter is there. He's ready to take pictures. He says, check this out, and check that out, and I'm going to get on the bike. I'm going to pass by this gangster. Oh, and there we go. We got Mary Jane, we got Gwen, we got Harry Osborn. Everybody's hanging out at the fucking coffee shop. Oof. You love it. You need it. You love seeing the fucking side stories, the side plots, the characters that make up Spider-Man's life, because the idea was really Peter Parker became that first character where his side stories were more interesting. They never made Clark Kent interesting. They never made Bruce Wayne interesting back then. They were always just like, they're at a fucking meeting or they're at a dinner, they say 3 fucking lines and get dressed. It was like the same thing as TV, where Bruce Banner was never interesting. You're just waiting for him to get locked in a fucking closet so he could turn into the Hulk. Whereas this was that unique comic book in that it made you more interested when he was in Peter Parker, because you wanted to be Peter Parker. You had interesting things going on. Although you got mad at the time because you always wanted him to bang Gwen or bang fucking Mary Jane. So, of course, we have here is they bring in Jameson. They said, look, we're going to cut your fucking head off here. Foswell's working for me. Jameson's like, nah, dude, I know you might be undercover. But this is when you get, okay, cool. You have the office here. He's one of the mob. What I like is, even though he's threatening Jameson's life, of course, Jameson does not back down. He is a journalist through and through. And I feel like this is the first time we see I think this is when we see the hideout that twists inside. Spider-Man shooting whibs on everybody, punching people in the back of the fucking head. Then he realizes, holy shit, I gotta fight the Kingpin. He calls him a fatty, but then they fight and he realizes, holy shit, the Kingpin can fucking fight. He can fucking peck a hit. He can smash my fucking leg. He can throw me against the wall. He can hit me with the gas in the fucking face. We already did that with the thing. Spider-Man beaten? This is what I always wanted, but not like this. With Spider-Man finished, what happens now? So Foswell, Jameson, Peter, everyone's about to get fucked up. Kick-stomped by gangsters. We're in the year 1967 in terms of the comic books. And I am drinking what they think is black cherry. All right, let's do this. Several armed guards surround Spider-Man at the web. He tries to reason with them. Gentlemen, please. Give me a chance to explain. The man I have captive here. Spider-Man's looking up. He's trying to reason with them. He's got the arms up. He's like, gentlemen, please, give me a chance to explain. The man I have captain here is your saboteur. I know that's not how you spell saboteur. Saboteur! As Spider-Man points down to explain, we see the chameleon has morphed and changed his face to resemble the scientist he previously mimicked. He is a terrorist. Shoot him now. Before he blows up the rocket. To be like a German scientist. Ugh. Please, he is a terrorist. Shoot him now before he blows up the rocket. And Spider-Man be like, oh, wait. Oh, you mother. So say, oh, you mother, and the guards attempt to shoot at Spider-Man. But suddenly, the launch sequence begins. SFX of the launch sequence alarms and sensors going off. Let me underline all that real quick. All right. SFX of the launch sequence that's going out. Voice over. Launch sequence beginning. The colony will launch in. How much warning time do they have to get everything cleaned up and out? The colony will launch in 5 minutes. What? So obviously, maybe Mayor Osborn was triggering it, or the chameleon had triggered it. Point is, they're not stopping it. This will be a little mysterious, but we want to fucking keep this moving. What the? Can they stop it? Hey, this area isn't clear. But no one's listening. The colony will launch in 2 minutes. The colony will launch in 3 minutes. Launch sequence beginning. Countdown. Countdown what? Countdown begins. The colony will launch in 5 minutes. All right, give them 5 minutes. What the? Can they stop it? Hey, this area isn't clear. The guards start clearing out as effects of the chaos. Spider-Man. The guards start clearing out SFX of the chaos. Spider-Man grabs the chameleon by the throat. Last chance, Dimitri. Spider-Man grabs the chameleon by the throat. Last chance, Dimitri. But do you want to do you want a rooftop? Last chance, Dimitri. Or do you want a rooftop view of Mars? So he's saying, I'm gonna fucking plaster you to the side of this fucking rocket. But he's not gonna say, I'm gonna plaster you to the side of this fucking rocket. So he says, last chance, Dimitri. Or do you want a rooftop view of Mars? Last chance, Dimitri. Or do you want a rooftop view of Mars? Chameleon. Close up on the chameleon laughing in his dementia as his face morphs to its default setting. We're both pawns. We're both pawns, Peter. Our paths were chosen a long time ago. The man I work for plans to sink this city. Close up on the chameleon laughing in his dementia as his face morphs to its default setting. We're both pawns, Peter. Our paths were chosen a long time ago. The man I work for plans to sink this city. The man I work for plans to sink this city and all that infest it. So no matter what you do today, no matter what you do today, it won't matter. You're better off strapping yourself to that rocket. You're better off strapping yourself to that rocket. I like that. We're both pawns, Peter. Our paths were chosen a long time ago. The man I work for plans to sink this city and all that infest it. So no matter what you do today, it won't matter. So no matter what you do today, it won't matter, no. Regardless, so, regardless of what you do today, it won't matter. You're better off strapping yourself to that rocket. I like that. And we're going to use the fucking Batman Begins line. We're going to have a nice closing line here. Chameleon say, well, fine. Take me to jail. And then that's when Peter will give him that look. I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. You know what? Let's move 5 minutes to 2 minutes. The colony will launch in 2 minutes. What the? Can they stop it? Hey, this area isn't clear. The guards start clearing out, as do all the drones. Spiderman grabs the chameleon by the throat. Last chance, Dimitri. Or do you want a rooftop view of Mars? We're both pawns, Peter. Our paths were chosen a long time ago. The man I work for plans to sink this city and all that infest it. So regardless of what you do today, it won't matter. You're better off strapping yourself to that rocket. Alright, so let's get these notes out of here. You see, talking about the Horn of Atlantis, I sat down with Jose Varice, and we are going to be working on a vintage old school movie style poster of our own movie, Indiana Jones and the Horn of Atlantis, a team up with Captain America. And I think we're going to send a copy of the movie poster to Marvel, just for the fuck of it. To say, look, this is what you should be making once you get rid of Kathleen fucking Kennedy. Close up. Okay. Boom. Boom. Close up on Spider-Man looking up at the Mars colony. The panel, give the panel or the characters a blurry rumble effect to show the rocket engines starting to power up and on. SFX of the power engines rumbling to work, and the heat beginning to rise. Boosh. Oh, yeah, the voiceover. The colony will launch in 1 minute. Spider-Man shouldn't say anything. You're better off strapping yourself to that rocket. So Spider-Man will not look 1 minute. It's like a metaphor. This is a metaphor here where the voiceover is like saying the colony will launch in 1 minute. You have 1 minute to get inside that fucking colony. This guy's telling you he's going to sink the fucking city. The colony will launch in 1 minute. Close up on Spider-Man looking up at the Mars colony. Give the panel or characters a blurry rumble effect to show the rocket engine starting to power up and on. SFX of the power engines rumbling to work and the heat beginning to rise. The colony will launch in 1 minute. That's all I want there is that 1 minute and Spider-Man looking up at the colony while shit's blurry and rumbling. He's got to make a choice, and it's almost like I say, he can get on this colony and leave the Earth, leave Empire City, fuck it all. I like that. See, that's a nice little writing tool. It's a nice little writing tool. We have fun there. The art and the words is a nice companion. So now what do we do here? We have 1 page to go for our class today. Where now we have to get to the, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. So we can end, if he's going to leave him here to die, and he gave him the whole, my fucking boss is going to sink the city. All right. Let's do some mining. What we have here on our last page of a class, we got the rumbling. Spider-Man's going to leave him here. Right? So by the end of this page, Spider-Man is going to crawl up the fucking rocket. and get out of there in time, we'll close up on the chameleon getting roasted to death, and Spider-Man just kind of sitting there, shooting his way out, webbing his way out, and then being able to watch from a nice perch as the Mars colony takes off into space. The launch of the Fantastic Four, if you will. All right, so let's do some mining. To die a hero. If you did your homework, you know this is the comic book where Frederick Foswell sacrifices his life to save J. Jonah Jameson, the only man that was willing to give him a job after he was disgraced and found out to be the big man. And the idea is right now they're left to drown together as the Kingpin is sick and tired of Jameson being involved in his criminal affairs. He leaves them to die. Now Jameson hates Spider-Man, but they were going to be forced to team up together in order to escape. Ned Leeds is there. He's like, shit, what am I going to do? I'm a good-looking dude. I look like Flash Thompson. Betty Brant's going to fucking cheat on me with this asshole. Good old Robbie fucking Robinson's taking things over while I got to go look and see. Don't say that, Betty. What if it's dangerous? You're a crime reporter. That was Foswell's job. Why are you risking your life? I have to be a bitch. I have to be Betty Brant and annoying. Okay, they're about to drown. Spider-Man shoots up a web bubble. See, again, that can be useful. We can use a web bubble in Chapter 3. We're kind of taking notes for Chapter 3 right now. But remember, we still got pages left. So we can use this stuff too. Spider-Man can be booby-trapped and sucked underwater, where he will make a water helmet with his webs. Yes, I like that. The idea is he could be getting in a car or something like that, or like we could show how what Dr. O was looking to do. Okay, we have to write it in. Dr. O staged the whole Mars colony thing to test out the city's security response. And with them ignoring the ransom, but doubling, but tripling up the security, left the city, the rest of the city, vulnerable. And so he was able to plant his nanobots all over vital parts of Empire City, which he plans to destroy. A la Final Fantasy VII. Remember when they had the city up there leaped up and all the repulsors went off and the city sank? Well, it could be kind of cool. We can reveal, even through a good series of architectural like design or Spider-Man shooting around, is that maybe Empire City is like the upper part of the city and the rest of the city is sunken. We've showed that a little bit with the edge of the city and like the canals and shit like that. We could really do some old Valyria shit if we wanted to, because we have no timeline in terms of our city. And that's the beautiful thing, is that when you're writing an alternative story, the city can also become yours as well. It doesn't have to be the New York that we know and love. We're calling it Empire City so we can fuck with it, change it, futurize it, cyberpunk it, but we can also sink a shitload of it, and we can kind of show that off. You know, we can really rise zero with the fucking Japan being in orbit. I like this. I like where we're going with this. Let's do it. Osborn stole Dr. O's tech and turned on him Vala a la Magor, the Cruel, and the King's Landing Red Keep story. He fucked over all the members of the original Sinister Six. Osborn uses Dr. O's tech to take over Empire City and design his own master project the Oscorp station, which essentially is a floating skyscraper a la space station that he can use as both a home base and eventually weapon a la a skyscraper version of the Death Star. I got the idea. I was on Instagram and they had one of these architectural design firms showing a futuristic like skyscraper that instead of growing out of the ground, the skyscraper would be harnessed to a floating asteroid. Like with parachute technology, so the skyscraper would come downward and float over the city, and it could orbit around the Earth. It's like the sickest fucking concept design I ever saw, and I said, "Oh yeah, we're working that in here." And again, I'll use the pictures that I took off Instagram. And I'll use it for my references, and I'll show it to my artist, and we'll do our own version of it. That's the best part of this fucking job. All right, page 22. Let's get back to the action here. It's all Phil Kingpin. They're both goners by now. That was my intention. But the idea is when you look at the Kingpin now, I'm always trying to do Vincent D'Onofrio's voice. Wait another 30 seconds to be sure. What the fuck? All right, they're in there, trapped in the bubble. Spider-Man jumps out of the bubble, fucks up this gangster, fucks up that gangster, beats this guy up, punches his fucking head, smashes his fucking chrome dome open. He gets in there. He's running out of web fluid. They got to go around the fucking corners here. He's got to slap around a few more gangsters. He's got to dance with them here. He's got to fight with them there. Jameson's running, cracks his head open, runs into a fucking pipe. And the Kingpin's pissed. Foswell says, "Don't fuck with me." He says, "I'll fuck with you. I'll fucking break your fucking skull open." See, I like this. This is where they throw a party here. They're throwing a party because Flash has been drafted into the Vietnam War. So we have here the Silver Spoon, where it's kind of cool. They're showing that, Peter's not at the party, of course, right now because he's fighting the fucking, I'm really a 3-star general, but I dress this way because I'm modest. Ooh, God, you love it. Us conquering heroes expect a full turnout when we waltz through. He's kind of annoyed that fucking Peter Parker's not there. You must have heard how the Viet Cong wanted to sue for peace as soon as they found that I was. This is a really interesting topic because, again, it's 1967 when this is written and put out. And the war hasn't really escalated to the point it has where it gets to 1969. So it's optimistic and people actually wanted to go over there or they would, about serving their country and being drafted. But now we have Peter fighting the Kingpin in his own little office here. And this is a knockdown, drag-out, good old-fashioned wrestling brawl where Peter said he saw a chick. And then we have the secret fucking location. And then we have an explosion in the secret location on Mission Impossible. And he gets away. But Foswell's running. He turns around. He's about to get shot. Foswell jumps him, saves the day, takes the bullet, gets a tribute, becomes the hero. Spider-Man cracks their fucking heads open and says, "Oh my God, what happened here?" Ned Leeds is on the scene. All of a sudden, comes back and it's perfect because that's who we're writing about. Dr. Octopus. Who am I kidding? I do the same thing all over again, and if I had to do it, I know it. In my own way, I'm a lot like Jameson. He's a compulsive crank, and I'm a compulsive do-gooder. The only thing is he makes a lot more dough at it than I do. I like that. There's probably a moral hidden away in all this. But alas, there's not much slumber in Spidey's future, and you'll know the reason why as soon as we tell you that our next bombshell issue features the incredible villainy of Dr. Octopus. You know how cool it is when we're writing our story, we want to bring Dr. O into the fold, and he comes showing up here in the next issue. I don't think we'll read it today. We don't not need it. We'll save that for page 23 and 24. But I feel like we have enough here. I feel like we know what we're doing. So let's just fucking do it. We wanted to read about Spider-Man fighting the Kingpin and the gangsters. A nice 3-part fucking story. Ends with Foswell being a hero. Jameson and Spider-Man's relationship gets a little more evolution to it. But did we get enough inspiration from that comic book to finish these 6 panels? All right, here we go. Spider-Man. Close up on Spider-Man in the chameleon's face, giving him one, giving them one last face-to-face Close up on Spider-Man and the Chameleon's face, giving them one last face-off before the end. So we got rumbling. All right. Close up on Spider-Man and the Chameleon's face, giving them one last face-off before the end. Count the colony will launch in 30 seconds. And the chameleon will say to him, You think your parents would be proud of you? You think your parents would be proud of you becoming a killer? Well, I guess you'll haul me off to jail then. Well, I guess you'll haul me off to jail then. You think your parents would be proud of you becoming a killer? No, he wouldn't say, I guess you're going to haul me off to jail then. That's cheesy. That's fucking cheesy in line. Well, I guess have at it then. You think your parents would be proud of you becoming a killer? No, he's not. I don't want him to tell him to kill him because then it defeats the fucking impact of him leaving him to die. The colony will launch in 30 seconds. Well then. Well, let's have off then. Well, let's have off then. Well, I guess it's time you hauled me off to jail. Well, I guess it's time you hauled me off to jail. You think your parents would be proud of you becoming a killer? You don't think your parents would be proud of no, what's the line here? Well, I guess it's time you hauled me off to jail. You don't think your parents would be proud of you becoming a killer? You don't think your parents would be proud of you becoming a killer? Spider-Man says to you, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me. Well, I guess it's time you hauled me off to jail. You don't think your parents would be proud of you becoming a killer? I'm not going to kill you. Close up on Spider-Man, leaping up and away from the chameleon, shooting a web in the process. Shooting a web upwards in the process. Oh, and I love it. I'm not going to kill you. But I'm not going to save you. I'm not going to kill you. I love that. It's my favorite line in Batman Begins. I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to save you. It's like, fuck you. I'm not going to kill you, but I'm fucking leaving your ass here to roast. Close up on Spider-Man leaping up and away from the chameleon, shooting a web upwards in the process. But I'm not going to save you. Get that classic McFarlane like pose of Spider-Man making a mega pull and leap frog shot as he has to spring himself out of the rocket cone and over the Mars colony, which is about to launch into space. We see the rockets beginning to flame up as Spider-Man makes his ascent out of the rocket cone. Whoosh. Voiceover says, 10. Voiceover. 10, 9, 8, 7. And the idea is spread, I'm going to tell him, spread the numbers out over the panel. Don't bunch them together. Make sure that's underlined. Editing is never the fun part. 6. Close up on the frightened and defeated face of the chameleon. He looks like Jack Nicholson in Batman 1989, about to plummet to his death. Over. 5, 4, 3, 2. One. Ignition. Ignition sequence. Rocket fuel turns to fire as the rockets under the colony blast off, and the rocket cone completely lights up in a stunning display as the Mars colony begins to blast off. SFX of the blasting off. And rocket ignitions. Oh, went the wrong way, wrong way. You can go your own way. You can call it hot enough. All right. Rocket fuel turns to fire as the rockets under the colony blast off and the rocket cone completely lights up in a stunning display as the Mars colony begins to blast off. You know, we can use that as kind of like the narrated voiceover. We have liftoff. We'll have Ned Leeds. I like that. And we have liftoff. Ladies and gentlemen, the power is back on. No, we have liftoff. No. Yeah, that's all we need. And we have liftoff. Oh, shit. Are we back on? And we have liftoff. So I like that. So Ned leaves, the power turns back on. And broadcasting channels turning back on. Oh shit, are we back on? And we have liftoff! I'll move these notes to our next page. All right, see how many. Oh, I love we have notes. These are all notes. If we don't use them here, of course, we use them in Chapter 3. All right. Duck à l'orange. Chameleon will escape, be hobbling away while Spider-Man is attacked by guards. Scattering during the launch sequence will catch up to the Chameleon. They will fight. Spider-Man will trap the Chameleon under the rocket blast, essentially killing him. I like that. So we've got this. We use this. Perfect. Possibly use the Horn of Atlantis, which we are using. In our Indiana Jones poster. Throwback later to the formula from Dr. Parker to be discarded, shot by the Chameleon. The idea is we might have a lizard cameo later on. We'll save that. Maybe we use it, maybe we don't. Stage the whole Mars colony to test out the city's security response. We just wrote all these notes in. We do not use them here. We'll use them in Chapter 3. All right. So our story continues to be told. And we're back on. We have liftoff. Okay. Let's give this a good end. Our class is over. And we'll have one more class to finish up this chapter. We see Spider-Man barely make it out of the rocket cone as there is destruction and fire all around him and his webs as he springs from the cone with the Mars colony right behind him. S effects of the webs and getting nearly taken out by the launching colony. Or do we want to show him, does he hold on to the fucking thing? And go out and start to go up and out into fucking space with them, and he could fucking fall off. Because we could do that too. That could be kind of cool. He almost rides with them for a little bit, and he waves at him in the fucking window. I like that. We see Spider-Man barely making out of the rocket cone as there is destruction fire all around him and his webs as he springs from the cone with the Mars colony right behind him. No, let's change this. We see Spider-Man almost making it out of the cone, but the colony is riding up fast behind him and is about to take him out as he Webb shoots his way up and out of the cone. S effects of the Mars colony shooting up behind him. And his multitude of web shots as he tries to escape being taken out. We're back and we have liftoff. Ned Leeds will narrate. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a temporary power outage, and details are sketchy. But the launch went down as planned, and no one right now is questioning, and no one right now is asking questions. As we all stand here in awe at the genesis of this fantastic voyage. And may fate and faith decide their fortune. I always love using that line. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a temporary power outage, and details are sketchy, but the launch went down as planned, and no one right now is asking questions, as we stand here in awe at the genesis of this fantastic voyage, and may fate and faith decide their fortune. I'm Ned Leeds. This has been Ned Leeds, Now Magazine. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, class is over. So what we're going to show here, well, we can start laying out page 23 and 24 for tomorrow's class, the next class, if you will. We can lay these out. Like, the idea is Spider-Man is temporarily stuck to the rocket due to its propulsion and force. Close up, quick close up on the window will show Spider-Man waving to the Fantastic Four inside the rocket. He will eventually let go and watch it be consumed by the heavens as the Mars colony takes off to space. After temporarily floating in euphoria, Spider-Man will plummet to Earth. Back to Earth. Empire City will come into view as he contemplates his mission now that he has achieved his vengeance. Vengeance. Why does it always do that there? Pay until 6. He will come too. God damn it. He will come to and make his way to a landing and back to the city for the next chapter of the story. 24. Essentially, page 24 will be we'll use next class. That will be our epilogue. Epilogue page where we set up the plot and backstory for the AracKnight. Chapter 3. Oliakasa. Where are the notes? The notes are at the bottom of 24. Oh, nice. We already put them at the bottom of 24. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our class today. I hope you had fun, and if you did, make sure to pick up a book on the brand new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. Only 8% to go, 41 hours to go. Pick yourself up a collectible. I love when that number goes up while I'm talking. It's always a good feeling. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. One can have hope. But until then, peace, love, war, all that shit in between.